Hi everyone, I'm Terri, and this is the Yarnjoy podcast, episode number 139. And that is a jet going over, if you hear that. Sorry. It'll pass over in a minute. Okay, so I have quite a few finished objects to show you this week, so let's get started. Okay, so I finished the shawl I was working on that I showed you last week, I think, and this is a pattern by Yarnspirations. It is called the Comfort Shawl, and it actually called for worsted weight yarn, but I used a Lion Brand mandala cake, which is a number 3 weight yarn, and this is the colorway Genie. Okay, so this cake I got from Lion Brand, and it was a mill-end, so the color sequence may be a little different than the actual what you actually buy in the store of the Genie. I'm not sure. I started with the green and it went through, and it at the bottom, this is what I changed on it, is the bottom was going back to the white again, but then I had like a row and a half to go, and it started turning into the green again, and it started turning into the green like halfway through the second to the last row, and I decided I didn't like the look of that, and I was about to run out of that cake, so I was trying to use up one full cake. One full cake, and then I had like a piece of a cake, and so I had to cut the white, and then what I did is I got some Bernat Softy Baby white that I had, and so I just added that on to the bottom there to finish it off. Okay. And now the pattern, like I said, the pattern was a worsted weight, called for worsted weight yarn, and so I did more repeats of this body part because I was aiming to use up that cake, but also I wanted to keep repeating it until I thought it was a good size for a shawl. And so that's what I did, and I probably could have stopped one repeat less than what I did because it is a pretty good size, a little bit bigger than I was kind of wanting, but I didn't want to rip it out and fix that, so I just continued on with it. And like I said, I did have to add just a little bit of white at the bottom, and if you look at it, you can kind of tell where the white is a little bit different color, but oh well. That's just the way it is. So I'm going to be donating this to Tabitha's Treasures, which is Sylvia and Dana, and they are in my city, and it will be donated to a nursing home, okay? And I told Sylvia that I wanted to make some items for her that she could donate, and so this will be one of the ones that I'm going to be passing along to her. Okay, so I did take a picture of this laying out flat so you can see it better. It's not blocked, but it laid out pretty good, so I'll pop that picture in here. Okay, so I'm very happy with the way it turned out. It was a whole bunch of treble crochets, which I don't normally use treble crochets that much. I mean, it's where it's like the whole entire thing is treble crochets. So that was different. It is all treble crochets until you get to that border down at the bottom, and then it goes back to doubles and some chains and cluster stitches. But anyway, I enjoyed the pattern. I did have a couple of people, I think it was last week, ask me if I could do a tutorial on that, and I would do a tutorial on it since Yarnspirations did give me permission to do tutorials with their patterns, but Mikey of the Crochet Crowd has done a tutorial on that already, on that pattern, and so I will link in the description box below Mikey's tutorial for that shawl. So finished object number 2 is Rose the Rabbit. This is a pattern by Jess Huff. I was doing this for as a baby gift, and I finished him, and I'm so in love. I think he's so cute. Here he is. Isn't he cute? Oh my goodness. He's so cute. Let me back up a little bit so you can see him, all of him. Now I used, the baby is a boy, and so I decided to do him in blue. See? And the yarn is, let's see, I have it right here. It is Michael's yarn. It's impeccable, loops and threads, impeccable, and the color is Blue Moon. Okay, and then for his belly patch and his muzzle and the tips of his arms and legs, I don't have the ball band. I think it's some sort of a cream color yarn, or no, I'm not sure, something like that. And then the only thing I did is for his tail, as you can see, I did it in white. It just seemed like he needed a white tail, so that's the only thing I did in white. Okay, and then in the pattern, she actually suggested doing pink for the nose, but I decided, since I was changing up the color scheme anyway, that I just did some brown. I did the pink, and the pink was just too, I don't know, too much of a contrast for the colors that I used. And so I used Cafe Latte, and of course it's just a tiny little piece there. And the only thing else I did is I did do a little stitch right there to show his little split lip that bunnies have. I just thought that was so cute. That would add a cute little touch to it, so I did that. So anyway, he is so cute. I just love Jess Huff's patterns. I just love her patterns, and they're free, and I feel like she should charge for them because they're so cute and they're designed so well. I've done several of her patterns. If you've been watching me over the years, you know that I have done several of her patterns. I've done the bear and the giraffe and the tiger and now the bunny and what else? Oh, her zebra, Zane the zebra was hers also. So I just really love her patterns. Anyway, he is done, and he is ready to be gifted pretty soon. The baby's due pretty soon, so I will be giving that to her, or the mom to be. Okay, so on to finished object number 3. It is what is it? Oh, it is the Granny Square Heart Coaster. Now, this is a tutorial by Krista over at The Secret Yarnery. This does qualify for the Season of the Granny. It also qualifies for the Happy Scrappy Yarn Challenge that Christy of T-Doddles and Christy of Crochet Creations by Christy that they are hosting monthly, okay? And this month for February was Valentine's or Love is in the Air themed thing, and so I made this Granny Square Heart Coaster is the name of the pattern, but I did it with a larger hook. I did acrylic yarn, and then I also put a little hanging loop on there, okay? And I did that so then I could use this as a decoration. I'm going to hang it back there as a Valentine's decoration, although Valentine's Day is tomorrow, but I guess at least it'll hang up there for a week and then I'll put it with my Valentine's stuff to use for next year. Anyway, I actually made 2 of these. I did gift one of these to somebody that I sent a little package to, and so I made 2 of them. So anyway, I really like the way it turned out, and it's a fun little pattern and fun little project, stash buster, that you can make. Okay, so and I forgot to say that the comfort shawl that I made, I'm not sure what is going on with the lighting, sorry about that, my camera is doing something. But anyway, the comfort shawl that I made also qualifies for the Stash Buster 2020 challenge that Crystal of Chronically Crocheting is hosting throughout this year, and this month's project was a shawl, so there you go. Okay, so next finished object is a Preemie hat, the first one for February of my goal of 3 per month. Now, last week I showed you that I was working on the SpongeBob hat. Well, I'm still working on that. He had to kind of go into timeout for a little bit, and I'll tell you about that in a minute. So, I wanted to get one completed, so I did this little pig hat. This is a pattern by Sarah Zimmerman of Repeat Crafter Me, and I think he's cute. Now, I followed the newborn sizing of it, and then I just went down like a couple of hook sizes to get it down smaller. And of course, I just used scrap yarn, and I believe she did, she was using buttons for the eyes, and I did some crocheted circles instead and just sewed them on. And so anyway, there is my Preemie hat number 1 for February. His ears turned out a little bit on the big side, which the reason being is because the dark pink yarn that I used was a little bit heavier than the light pink, and so the ears turned out a little bit bigger, but I think it just adds character to the little hat. So anyway, so I was happy about that. Okay, now we can go on to works in progress. Yes, and I can tell you about the SpongeBob hat. Okay, so it looks exactly the same. Last week I told you that I needed to rework the eyes. I was going to rework them in baby yarn to try to get them down smaller and a smaller hook, and I did that, and they were still too big. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out some of my crochet thread like I do with doilies, and I will make the eyes in that, and hopefully the eyes will be the proper size proportionally, so then I can get his smile on there. Now this is a pattern by Sarah Zimmerman, Repeat Crafter Me, and I did the newborn size, but the newborn size only did like 7 rows right here of the yellow or the gold color, and so I did that in a smaller hook. Just I always do that, go down like 2 hook sizes or 2 or 3 to make it more preemie sized, but and then I use the same hook for the eyes, and so that should have sized them down also. Well, I think what it is she has sizes through adult, and since the newborn size only has 7 rows, but then the pattern for the eyes are the same as for like even the adult size hat, so that for the baby hat that made the eyes still too big. So I'm going to plug along with this, and I'm going to use crochet thread and see if I can get the eyes the right size, because I really like the shape that the eyes turned out. I like the pattern, the way she designed it, so I'm going to do that. And so I will stay tuned, and I will let you know how that turns out. Okay, so that's still a works in progress. Okay, so works in progress number 2 is I started the Santa, since it is February now, and I am working through this kit right here, and there's 12 characters in this kit, the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer kit. There's 12 patterns, so you get all 6 of those and 6 of those characters, okay? And it comes, the little pattern book is in there, see? Okay, so I'm just working through this book in order as how the patterns are coming out in the book. And so the first one I did was Rudolph. Let me see if I can find him laying here. He is here somewhere. Sorry for the rustling. I don't know. Rudolph he's just hanging out taking a nap somewhere. But anyway, he's on this mess of a table I have right now. But anyway, I did do Rudolph. I will show you his picture. Let's see. Let me find it in the book here. Okay, so there is Rudolph. Okay, so I did Rudolph. Okay, and so the next one in the book is Santa. Okay, which would be right there, see? Okay, so I'm working on Santa. Now this is part of the kit because the kit came with the yarn and everything you need to make Rudolph and Santa. And so after this, I'm gonna have to start getting my yarn to get the colors that I need for the next characters. But for the month of February, I'm working on Santa, number 2 in the book. Right now he looks like he's got a dress on, but that's that's how his oh, here's a bigger picture, see? Right there. And so I need to stitch the little belt buckle on the belt. See, I have his belt on there. And then get, of course, his hat and his beard, and he will be, oh, and his arms. So I will be finished with this next week. The pattern is, I mean, it makes it a little small characters, but the pattern is really, I haven't had any trouble reading the pattern as far as making the pieces for them. And so I've been enjoying putting them together, even though they are turning out tiny, and you're using small yarn and a little small crochet hook that came in the box. It is a 3.25 millimeter hook, I think, which I think is a D in American terminology or whatever. Anyway, so he will be finished. And then the next one, I'll give you a sneak peek. The next one is, I'll show you on the box, is right there, which is Clarice, the little girl reindeer. And I've already got the ribbon. I found it at Michael's. The ribbon, the red, you see it's red with white polka dots. Ooh, I don't know if you can see it there. Yeah. So I've got the ribbon to make that little bow on her head. I found it. I think it's the right size. So now these I was looking through the book, and there's about 5 of those characters that you use 4.5 millimeter safety eyes, which is what they have for Santa. And so I knew that I was going to need some more of them, and so I was looking for them, and they have them on Amazon, but I think they're going to be coming from China, and I didn't know how long it would take for me to get them. And so I went over to Etsy, and I found some on Etsy, and I think it's shipping from Maine, and so and it's more of them, like 10 pairs for $4 or $5, and of course then I had to pay shipping, which was about $4 or something. But anyway, I went ahead and ordered them, and so I should be getting them in, and then I will be able to use the 4.5 millimeters eyes for the ones that I need. Now I believe Clarice, though, which is the next one I'm doing, I believe it uses a 6 millimeter, yeah, 6 millimeter safety eyes for her, and I've already got some of those. So, but then the next one I think we'll use 4.5 again. Okay, anyway, Santa is coming along. Now he is not going to be standing up on his own, and so but you know, Rudolph did because of 4 feet. So, and I remember I showed you, let me show you again. This tray, I still haven't taken the stickers off, but I'm going to be using this riser thing. It is a spice rack holder, whatever. But anyway, so I was going to use this as a display for my 12 characters. Well, the ones with 2 legs are not going to stand up, and so I'm going to get with my husband, and we need to come up with something, some little stand that we can use to hold these up. And I'm sure he's so talented that we will come up with something, and then I'll let you know what we come up with as far as a stand. Okay, for those. Okay, so finish, that's works in progress, number 2. Okay, one more works in progress, and it is the Scrappy Granny crochet along. I showed you last week I was sewing the squares together into strips, and then the strips together. Well, I have finished all of that part. Let me turn it around here. It is connected in the corner because I need to do the border. But here is my, there it is right there. I really like the way it turned out. I'm very happy with it. I will pop in a picture here of it laying all out flat so you can see it. Okay, so now I need to put the border on it, and so I haven't started it yet because I was going to film how I'm going to be putting the a tutorial on the shell border that I'm going to be using around it. And so that is coming up. I don't know if I'll be able to get started filming it today, but yeah, it's like 4 o'clock my time, and on a Thursday, and I need to think about cooking dinner soon. So I probably won't get it started filming today, that tutorial for the of that shell border, but I should be able to work on it tomorrow. So I should be able to get it done hopefully tomorrow, and I will have it up this weekend. So that will be finishing off the crochet along. Thank you so much to everybody that has participated. I've been seeing pictures of your in progress squares, and some had already finished them and did their own borders, which is perfectly fine. And they're just looking awesome. Some of them are baby blanket size, some of them are larger. In some of them are made with scraps and leftover yarn. Some of them have an actual color theme to it. So I've just really been excited and pleased with all of the ones that I've seen over on the Facebook group that people have posted pictures of. Plus, I have even gotten a couple of emails from people that are not on Facebook, but they emailed me pictures of their squares and how they're doing. And so thank you so much for sharing your projects with me by sending me pictures. I really have been enjoying them. And I really thank you so much for all of those that have participated in the crochet along. And like I said, those videos for that project will always be up on my channel. So anytime you want to make that project, feel free, and please send pictures to me or post on the Facebook group whenever you do them, and I would love to see it. Okay, so that is all the works in progress I've been working on, because I wanted to finish up. I've got so many that I finished, and so upcoming is, like I said, the tutorial for the shell border on that blanket, and of course it could be used on any blanket. And so that will be, like I said, upcoming. And then next Wednesday will be Whip Wall Wednesday number 2. So that is a series that I started to work on some of my sleeping whips that have been on my whip wall that I want to try to clean out. And I confess that I have not worked on the part that I was going to work on. So I'm definitely going to be getting onto that to get some work shown on it, so I can show you some progress on Whip Wall Wednesday number 2 next week. So and then the granny summer bag that I was working on, I didn't work on any of it this week. It's in a project bag over there. I did not work on it, but I am going to be getting back to it. I just really wouldn't want to finish up that Scrappy Granny blanket so then I could get the border filmed. And I wanted to get the rabbit taken care of and finished so then I could give it as a gift when the time comes and it'll be ready. So that summer bag will be making another appearance. And so now I was going to do a tutorial on that, and I may do that. I would like to, but I did see just recently that somebody else had done a tutorial on a bag that's made the same way. I haven't watched the whole tutorial, but so I don't know if she lined it or not. So I may go ahead and at least do some sort of tutorial, or not, I don't know, or something as far as putting that bag together or lining it, or I may go ahead and do a full tutorial on it. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, be looking for that. That's going to be coming back. And I think that's it. Yeah. So, oh, I have another shawl. I've been looking at shawls again since I finished the this one I've just finished, and I saw a pattern for a ripple shawl over on Ravelry, free download. So I think I'm going to maybe start that one next, because I want to use up some of that Simply Soft back there, the Karen Simply Soft, and I think I I have an idea that I think is going to look cool using that pattern, so with some colors, and so be looking for that. I'll get started with that soon too. Okay guys, so that's all for today's episode. Thank you so much to my subscribers, my new subscribers that I've just recently gotten, and my original subscribers. Thank you so much for hanging in there and watching me from the beginning of this Yarnjoy journey. I really appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed, then please consider doing so and follow me along as I work on a variety of different crochet projects. I just love sharing my love for yarn and yarny projects with all of you. So that's it, guys. I hope everybody has a wonderful weekend. Happy Valentine's Day, and we will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.